Let's look at the 20th question. Exercise causes an increase of the pulse rate. Explain why it is important that this increase happens. We know when a person exercises, the person requires more energy. To produce more energy, the mitochondria has to produce ATP. That means that requires more glucose and oxygen if the mitochondria is doing aerobic respiration. So that pulse rate has to increase because it has to pump blood in order to send this oxygen, glucose and remove carbon dioxide, which is the waste product. So we will note about that. Exercise increase energy demand. Muscles need more energy. Muscles need more glucose. Muscles need to get rid of carbon dioxide. So pulse rate needs to increase to pump more blood. You can elaborate it and write in your own sentence. Next question, 21. The diagram shows two objects A and B in water. Object has a bigger volume than object B. The weight of both object is 100 newtons. Object A floats on the water, but object B sinks. You can see that the size is a little bit different in between these two. So they are saying object A has a bigger volume than object B. State the size of the upthrust force that acts on object A. You can see object A is floating and the arrow of this upthrust is also similar to the weight value. So we can note down it is also 100 newtons. Next one, explain why object B sinks. You can see the upthrust arrow is very small with compared with object A. So we can note down, since the B has less volume, since object B has less volume, less upthrust is applied on object B. Since object B has less volume, less upthrust is applied on object B, which is smaller than 100 newtons. Due to that, resultant force on object B is downwards. Or you can say actually object B is more dense than water. So if there is something which is more dense than the liquid, that object can sink in. Next one, the box contains the names of some materials. Use words from the box to complete these sentences. Element, polymer. So we look at what is an element out of this. Yeah, gold is an element. Then polymers, we have rubber as a polymer. MDF is a composite material. And porcelain, ceramic material. Salt is salt, and glass is also ceramic material. Moving to next. 23rd one, the diagram shows a wheelbarrow. They're talking about a moment. The perpendicular distance between the effort force and the axle is 90 centimeters. What is this distance in meters? Okay, we know 90 is in centimeters, so we can divide by 100. We are getting 0.9 meters. Like that you can write down. Next, to use the wheelbarrow, the effort must produce a moment or turning effect of 80 Newton meter above the axle. Calculate the size of the effort force. Use this equation. They have given the equation, so they are asking you to find out the force. First of all, we'll subject force and then look at what are the things that they have given. So force equals moment over perpendicular distance. Moment is 80 Newton meters divided by, we look at the perpendicular distance to the force, that is this distance that they have given, 90 centimeters, and we have already done the calculation to find out that it is 0.9 meters. We'll use that value. The answer is 20 newtons. Move to next question. 24th one, what is the function of vane? Now we know when we consider the circulatory system, there are three parts, three major parts. It's heart, arteries and veins. In between the arteries and veins we can find out capillaries. We look at what are the specific parts. To carry blood towards the heart, that is the function of vein actually. Carry the blood away from the heart, that is the function of artery. To carry oxygenated blood to the brain, oxygenated blood cannot go to the brain in a vein. To pump blood around the body, that is the pumping blood happens by the heart. Twenty-fifth one, when a metal carbonate reacts with an acid, the products are salt, water and carbon dioxide, which is the correct equation for the reaction between copper carbonate and hydrochloric acid. Now in this achievement test, we have seen this copper carbonate reaction with hydrochloric acid or any acid is given very commonly. So this one answer has to be copper carbonate, hydrochloric acid and copper chloride, H2O and CO2, which has to be balanced. And the answer is B over here. You can see there's 2 for hydrochloric acid and that's the only coefficient given here. Now to understand how this equation is balanced, there are two methods. One thing, you can remember this type of equations. The second one is if you know balancing equation. Now I'm planning to do another separate video for balancing equation. If you would like to watch that, please comment down so that I can give the priority to that video. Balancing equations. 26th question. There are many factors that affect the growth of a living organism within its environment. Which of these is an abiotic factor? So abiotic means non-living. If we say biotic factor means living factor. So we'll look at what are the non-living things over here. Competition with organisms, diseases, light intensity, the presence of predators. Light intensity will be the non-living factor. 27th question. Which of these particles have a charge and are found in a nucleus of an atom? We know that if you consider an atom, inside there is a nucleus and outside there are electrons. So electrons will be out here and inside there are protons and neutrons. It has to be particles have a charge. Yeah, if it is having a charge, that has to be proton only, because proton has a positive charge. 28th one, the diagram shows two charged spheres. Which of these statement is true? You can see both of them are positively charged. So that we know that the like charges will repel. The spheres will repel each other because they both have the same charge. That answer is correct. Answer is B. Next question, 29th question. The surface area, volume and the surface area to volume ratio plays an important part in the functioning of living organisms. So they have given some values. This data can be used to calculate the surface area to volume ratio for each animal. Draw one straight line for each animal to its surface area to volume ratio. First of all, we have 24 to 8. So you'll have to use the calculator for this. If you do the ratio 24 divided by 8, you'll get 3. So that 3 is for mouse. Second one for dog, you can put this value 14,168.7 divide by 108,990. I'm getting 0.13, that is for dog. Then for elephant, it is 138,240 divided by 3,456,000. That's 0.04. It's a quite small value. 0.04 is for elephant. So if you are connecting these type of answers, please make sure that you use a straight line, use a ruler, pencil, and draw it. After that, if you want, you can indicate. The leaves of cactus plants found in desert area have a low surface area to volume ratio. State one advantage of the leaves of cactus plant in desert area having a low surface area to volume. It can actually reduce the water loss from the surface of the leaves, and also it can reduce the leaves drying out. Can reduce evaporation